Thank you, Jules. Yeah, at the moment we've got the pyrotechnics, the lights off everybody's mobile phones inside the Khalifa International Stadium, and for what looks like a healthy crowd, for what is certainly now a fascinating group, should we say, for Group F, with Morocco beating Belgium earlier, so going top of the table. Croatia on 1 point against the Canada side, who know that they'll be eliminated if they lose, and both teams have made just the one change. Livaya comes in for Vlasic. The former Everton and West Ham player has a calf problem, so Livakovic is in goal. Juranovic, Gvardiol, Lovren and Sosa as the defence. Modric, Kovacic, Brozovic, Perisic, Kramaric and Livaya complete that Croatian side, who, make no mistake about it, are certainly fired up by the comments from John Herdman. And the Canadian coach, the Englishman, the man who hails from Concert in County Durham, has made just the one change as well, and that is Larin coming in for Junior Hoyler. So Boyan is in goal, Johnston, Vittoria and Callum Miller are the three at the back. Laria and Alphonso Davies are the wing backs. Hutchinson and Esteki in the centre of midfield, with Buchanan, Larin and Jonathan David. And Matt Upson is, will they get their first ever goal at a Men's World Cup here today? Because they need to. The pressure's on Canada.
Yeah, I mean, you know, looking at how they've approached this tournament, they deserve one, I think. And I think that, you know, they've become an interest of the neutral supporter. Maybe that's down to this storyline and what's happened, but I think also they have to take credit for how they performed in the first game, and I think they were quite fearless. They were a surprise package. They've got a lot of energy, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this Croatian side that have been around for quite a while actually cope with that.
Well, certainly as far as Croatia concerned, the last time that they played was against Morocco. It was a goalless draw. It actually ended a run of scoring in 11 consecutive World Cup matches. Of course, they were runners-up in Russia 4 years ago, and they will once again look to players such as Modric, Kovacic and Perisic once more. White checkered shirts of Croatia are predominantly away towards our left-hand side here in this expansive stadium. There are large banks and blocks of red over on the far side of Canadian support, competing in their first World Cup since 1986 and still awaiting their first goal at a men's tournament. They are indeed the sixth side to lose each of their first four, and the third team to remain goalless after 4 matches. Bolivia went 5 games between 1930 to 94, and Greece just the 4 between 94 and 2000. So we've run through the two teams for you. In case you missed it, we've talked a little bit about the comments from John Herdman, inadvertently picking a fight with Croatia, and Perisic has certainly agreed with the coach of Zlatko Dalic. They feel that they've been disrespected, and bearing in mind, if Canada play as well as they did against Belgium, then we could have a rather lively and feisty contest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that you don't say anything that upsets the Croatian media and they actually do that to you on tomorrow's front page, Deno. That would be a shock.
Well, I'll tell you what, you wouldn't want me naked with a couple of maple leaves. That wouldn't go down well.
Not at all.
And if the wife of John Herdman has said you need to lose weight, I know I've lost a little bit of timber, but I definitely would think that would apply to me as well.
Oh, you've got a bit of time in the gym.
Anyway, we'll be underway. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. The one thing I would say about John Herdman from Concert in County Durham, I didn't realise that the cast list from that area of County Durham is very, very impressive. I didn't realise that Rowan Atkinson was born in Concert, Paddy McAloon, the lead singer from Prefab Sprout, Denise Welsh. I did know Paul Collingwood because when I covered Durham cricket back in the day, he was just starting out, and Mark Clattenburg, the referee. So the great and the good.
It's a breeding ground.
It is. And many, many more, I'm sure. BBC Radio 5 Live, available through BBC Sounds as well, and still to come, an eagerly awaited contest, Spain against Germany in Group E, bearing in mind that earlier Costa Rica beat Japan by 1-0. But Canada have got to avoid defeats, otherwise, like the hosts, Qatar, they will be eliminated. They've changed their strips. They're in all black, and they'll be playing from right to left in this first half against the Croatian side in the red and white checks and the white shorts, as we get ready to get underway for the second match in Group F. Croatia will get us underway. One change each from either side, and certainly Croatia, bearing in mind they've got Belgium to come next Thursday, they'll be targeting this to get the 3 points themselves. We're underway. You're listening to 5 Live. Yet another game on BBC Radio 5 Live that is live. All 64 games, right the way through to the conclusion of this tournament here in Qatar on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as the ball will run through to Bojan, 35-year-old, very, very experienced, actually born in Croatia but fled during the Croatian War of Independence, which was 91 to 95, settled in Canada, now plays his football in Serbia, and vastly experienced keeper in his aqua green goalkeeping outfit away towards our right hand side, as Canada slowly but surely will build from the back. The shot count that they had against Belgium, 22-9, yet only 3 was on target, and Karen Bardsley was spot on earlier on when she said they just lacked that quality in and around goal. But Larin has been brought into the side, good control, out it goes towards Buchanan with a cross, Alphonso Davies! What a moment for Alphonso Davies! Canada's first ever goal scorer at a men's World Cup, and he's produced the quickest goal of this tournament so far. What a start! They lead Croatia by a goal to 0. Downward header gave the goalkeeper no chance.
What a goal from Canada. What a strike. I was just thinking, if Croatia want to sit off the way they have done at the start of this game, they're going to get punished, and boy have they paid the price. Jonathan David has brought the ball down off of the back 4, turned, no one within 10 yards of him, it goes wide, the cross into the box is decent, it's in a good area, and Alphonso Davies, well, he's just arrived, totally unmarked, gets up high, it's a free header, it's so simple, he just punches it down into the floor, it's a really good header, but how bad a start is that from Croatia?
Well, what a moment. They drew blanks against France, Hungary and the Soviet Union in 1986. They battered Belgium but couldn't find a way through. And the man who missed the penalty has now scored what will be an iconic moment for men's football in Canada. The previous quickest goal so far was Gakpo after 6 minutes. I reckon that was about 70 seconds. And Alphonso Davies has scored for Canada, who lead by a goal to 0. And all of a sudden, we said before that Group F was fascinating. It has ramped up the stakes for last year's runners-up, or the last runners-up of the World Cup, Croatia, from 4 years ago. But what a header. He gave Livakovic, the goalkeeper, no chance. Coming in as a left wing back, the golden boy for Canada. A header that was simply unstoppable. And from a neutral's point of view, Matt, it really now does set the tone, because Canada are going to have opportunities now to maybe counter-attack Croatia as they go forward.
Well, it was almost a mindset of Croatia not to be close, not to get tight, not to push up the pitch, and they just allowed so much space to receive the ball. They dropped right off, invited the opportunity onto themselves. I mean, we haven't even touched on the formations. I mean, Canada have started with a back 4. We've got Larea, who played right wing back in the first game, playing left back, so he's completely switched it up, and it looks like Davies has just got that free role to go forwards and arrive in the box.
Well, I said it was probably around 70 seconds. We knew it was the quickest goal of this tournament so far. It has been officially timed at 68 seconds.
Wow.
The fastest goal ever, in case you're wondering, in a World Cup was Hakan Şükür in 2002, just the 11 seconds. Turkey against South Korea. But what a start for Canada, and what a moment for Alphonso Davies.
You were keeping a close eye on that first goal as well, weren't you, Deno?
I was,
It's
yeah.
a little thing of yours, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, up until today, 13 of the 26 matches that we've had so far have been goalless at half-time, which is quite a high number. We'll not obviously be adding to that one. And Canada, with a rapid start, Croatia rocked back onto their heels. But it was a great cross from the right-hand side from Buchanan. Here is Kovacic, and it certainly now sets the tone. We were looking forward to this game anyway, with the comments made by Herdman and how Croatia responded. They feel they've been disrespected, and certainly now, as the ball goes out towards Sosa on that far side, the left, plays it to Gvardiol, sporting the face mask, the very impressive Leipzig defender. Mark my words, it will be a matter of time before we see him in the Premier League. A very, very strong target for Chelsea. Joško Gvardiol, only 20 years of age.
It was a poor start from Croatia's back four, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really fearful, almost just sat right off. The ball was cleared, and Jonathan David, I mean, he just controls the ball. He can't believe a centre-back hasn't gone tight. You're early on in the game. You're looking to put a marker down as a centre-back. I'm going to dominate you as the opposition today. They just drop 10 yards. He plays it wide. It's just so passive, the whole opening from Croatia.
This is Kramaric. Kramaric with a cross, takes a deflection, loops in the air. Bojan actually lost it underneath the goalpost. Whether he was caught in two minds, the balding keeper, but as the cross came in from the right-hand side from Kramaric, he tried to catch it underneath the goalpost, took it spinning, and then he caught it before it dropped to the floor.
I think it was awkward because it was just sat on top of the crossbar and he couldn't get his wrists round the crossbar to catch it, so just had to pat it down. It wasn't the most convincing piece of goalkeeping, but I'm just having a look at the spaces again in the middle of the park between the lines. If Canada get 2 or 3 passes off, there's a big difference between the back four and the midfield from Croatia. Big gap in there.
Good play on the near side by Laria. Played though back for Croatia. That was Juranovic, the right back, the Celtic defender. Sometimes you can get in danger of getting caught up inside the World Cup bubble here in Qatar, and you can forget that the FA Cup is continuing. The second round today, there's been more ties. Ebbsfleet United 0, Fleetwood Town 1. Bristol Rovers 0, Bournemouth 2, Burton Albion 6, Chippenham Town 1. They are results. A latest score in half-time, Newport County lead Derby County by 1-0. And on Sports Extra from 5, there will be Ipswich Town against Buxton. That is a 5 o'clock kickoff. You can hear that on 5 Live Sports Extra. But it's just a reminder of this, at times, an insane season with the World Cup right back in the middle. And the draw tomorrow night, incidentally, for the third round will be at 7 o'clock on BBC 2. Kramaric on the right-hand side, over the halfway line. He switched play out towards the far side. That is headed away by Johnston. It was.
Hopeful ball.
Buchanan picks it up, strong running over on that far side. Buchanan slows down, almost level the penalty area, held up by Modric. They lead by 1-0. Hutchinson tries to join the attack from midfield, and then the ball is played away by Luka Modric as Canada lead by 1-0. Thibaut Hutchinson, who is the first Canadian player to reach a century of caps. The ball played through, flag stays down, opportunity here for Larin. Very good challenge by Gvardiol to come in. It was a late flag. He did look offside, to be fair to him, and it will be a free kick to Croatia.
Yeah, offside, but really good tackle. Gvardiol, really solid centre-back defending, but I'm more concerned about the space in front of the back four. I mean, Croatia have to sort it out, and quickly. There's just so much gap between the midfield and the Croatian back four. It's not even having to be worked through cleverly. The ball can just knock down. It can just be a simple pass and Davies is turning and just running at the back four, sliding passes. It's a really shaky start from Croatia.
Croatia coming forward. Brozovic, out it goes to Perisic. Does a little step over, sends over a cross from the left, too deep. Modric will retrieve it on this right-hand side, already trailing by a goal to nil. The return ball, though, Modric wasn't expecting that, and it's going to run out of play for a goal kick. Canada lead by a goal to nil. So Thibaut Hutchinson at 39. He became the second oldest outfielder ever to appear at a World Cup. Roger Miller at 42 holds that record back in 1994. It's interesting, though, that Team Canada, well, FIFA don't recognise the games against Guadeloupe and Martinique. So whilst Team Canada are saying that he is their first centurion by playing here today, FIFA actually still have him as his 98th game as far as FIFA records are concerned, but it's still a milestone for somebody who made his debut against the United States 19 years ago. And here he is, the captain, getting the ball back from the Porto midfielder Esteki. Now it's played forward, and again it was just tried to be helped on by Alphonso Davies, going a little bit inside to try and create the space for Laria on this left-hand side for Canada. All in black, out it goes. Perisic running forward once more, goes towards the byline at pace, whips over the cross, takes a deflection behind for a corner kick. Canada though lead.
That's much better from Croatia. Perisic, direct, on the run, doing what he does well in terms of the little step over, keeping his run down the channel and onto his left foot. It needed Johnston, who's playing at right back today, to be really alive. But I mean, there's been a bit of a shake-up in the front three. They've brought Livia in, who's playing down the middle today, and Kramaric has gone out to the right-hand side. But we really need to see a bit more of a goal threat from this Croatian side.
Well, it is a corner kick to Croatia, far side to left. We've been playing for just over 10 minutes. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. Kramaric makes the run, played to his feet, laid back towards Modric, left-hand side of the penalty area, down towards the byline, clips over the cross, headed away by Esteki, picked up by Modric once again. Hutchinson was there to stab it away for Canada. Can the break be on here? No, held up. The ball eventually played out towards that far side where the cross comes in. That was Esteki's slice clearance, and it will go out of play for a throw right down by the corner flag.
A little bit wild that from Esteki. Had a little bit of time on the edge of the box. It was a right-footed swipe at the ball. He really tries to put too much power on the clearance and just kind of slices it up in the air. Very nearly goes out for a corner, but throw in with Perisic.
He's going to wait to take the throw on that far side to left. In comes the long one. Comes into the penalty area. Kramaric there. Davies, the goal scorer, manages to get the ball away, and then it's played forward by David, but Larin wasn't prepared to chase it, and Gvardiol will just drop back. And now Lovren, just inside his own half, another raking ball out towards that left-hand side. The first touch from Perisic is to try and take it away from Johnston. So he likes to be flexible with his tactics, John Herdman. We saw him with the three in the opening game, and as you quite rightly say, Matt Upson, he's gone to a flat back four.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
After having real success in the first game, the way they played, I love the link up down the right hand side between Johnson, Larea and Buchanan. Thought they really worked together in something a little bit different.
Here is Modric. Esteki with a challenge midway through his own half. Incidentally, if you like your facts and figures, FIFA have retimed the goal and they've changed it by a second. Instead of 68 seconds, it's now 67. That will take some beating.
What? The attention to detail all the time?
At this World Cup. For the quickest goal. But it was a great header, and what a moment as well for the
Look at that again, Deno. See the space that is dropping in there. Just so easy. The middle of the park for Croatia is just wide open. If Canada can get any ball breaking a line from a centre-back, firing it into a midfielder, an attacking player that's dropped in that pocket, they're turned and they're running into 20 yards of space. I mean, the pitch is just so open.
The Croatian support away towards our left. try to give the Croatian players a bit of vocal encouragement. There are pockets of Croatian supporters also over on that far side, always travel in great numbers, but it's been a disappointing tournament so far. Here is Alistair Johnston. Notice he's been linked with Celtic. Laria forward on this near side, the left corner of the area, plays it back, a little bit behind the goal scorer Davies. Played back now to Larin. Larin's right-footed cross, making a run in towards the penalty area was Davies himself, and then there was a little bit of a trip there on Kovacic, and that will be a free kick. But you're right, they are finding pockets of space.
It's too easy. I mean, Kovacic is going to have a blinding game today. He's that energy and engine in that midfield. He's going to have to cover a lot of ground from the start of this match, but I've just been impressed by the start of Canada. Sometimes it's hard when you score that early though, Deno. Do you know what I mean? It's like very early on. You can't get into that mindset of, right, we're a goal ahead, let's now start to be more defensive. I'm sure the message coming on, looking at John Herdman in that tactical area, he doesn't appear to be, changing his message. Is get out on the front foot, get pressure, keep probing, get another goal, and just keep taking this game forwards.
Modric, Brozovic, challenged by David, out of play it goes for a throw to Croatia. Juranovic will want to take it just in front of his coach Zlatko Dalic, who's standing up in that very large technical area down below here at this Khalifa International Stadium. And now Kramaric inside, little flick header by Brozovic, turned back, and eventually it was Steven Vittoria to get the ball away under pressure. And out it goes for a throw over on that far side. They're just starting to see a little bit more of the ball, Croatia, as they look for an equaliser 16 minutes into this contest here. Lovren, former Southampton and Liverpool defender, plays it forward. Kovacic of Chelsea. Out it goes now to Gvardiol, runs forward, far side to left, midway through the Canada half. Sosa is ahead of him. Reminds me of Jonathan Woodgate from his days back at Real Madrid. Sosa with the Alice band and the long hair, if you can remember that far back, Matt.
I remember it well.
And here he is once again, Sosa with the cross, dropping inside the penalty area, fisted down two-handed by the goalkeeper Borjan. Ball played into the penalty area for Perisic, who goes down, and it will be, if anything, a free kick to Canada as the ball runs out, harmlessly out of play, but it'll be a free kick to Canada, who lead by a 1-0.
Yeah, I think they've just got to be careful, Canada, that they keep focus, keep concentration. They're in that back four, which can be quite helpful sometimes in terms of knowing your role, understanding the space. You've got your centre-back partnership. He's gone with Vittoria and Miller. Vittoria, very experienced centre-back, 35-year-old. So I think he'll be very vocal in organising that. And it's a bold move, really, because Croatia very much a front three. And I think he just fancies the fact that his fullbacks can deal with their wide players, Perisic and Kramaric today. And that is the gamble, really. Can your fullbacks deal with those attacking players and handle those 1v1 duels?
A bold move for mankind. Wasn't that astronaut fascinating?
It was, and it was great to hear how he linked his experience into football.
Buchanan comes inside, plays the ball forward towards Larin. The return ball won't quite come off. If you haven't downloaded yet the BBC Sounds app, you've got the facility on that to rewind to any programme on BBC Radio 5 Live. If you were to go back to just before 3:30, hopefully we don't lose you during the commentary, maybe do it at half time, but Chris Hatfield, this astronaut, was absolutely fascinating, the way he was talking about how he'd given a pep talk to the Canadian players. So it was around 3:30 on 5 Live, and BBC Sounds would certainly give you the opportunity to do that.
Is that just because you asked a good question?
He did seem to like it.
It was a good question.
Here is Hutchinson to Larin, lays it off. Buchanan 30 yards out from goal, crosses into the penalty area. Juranovic didn't know where Jonathan David was, and David actually wasn't putting him under any pressure, but Juranovic has headed the ball behind and he's conceded the corner. Canada lead 1-0.
Yeah, if you're in doubt, head it out, and that's exactly what Juranovic did. He couldn't take a chance. Davis had put the brakes on. He wasn't going towards that far post, but it's alarming how easy it is for the Canadian midfield players just to put their foot on the ball, get their head up and chip one in the box. There's no pressure at all.
Corner's been taken short. Miller's up from the back, hasn't been properly dealt with at the first time of asking, and then dropping to one knee, clattered away by Gvardiol at the back there for Croatia, and then Canada all the way back to Bojan. And we're in the 20th minute, and Canada are leading by 1-0. Miller, forward ball, David, just inside the Croatia half, keeping the ball very well, playing confident football here, Canada, utilising the width, but they've lost it now over on that far side with interception from Sosa, who continues his run. His high cross, Kramaric with the cushion header into the path of Modric, and he just tried to take it away. I think it was from Esteki, but all of a sudden it's been clear. And now Davies, the goal scorer, is away, up against Juranovic. Alphonso Davies with a low ball into the penalty area. He couldn't quite pick out Kyle Larin. And there was Gvardiol at the back once again, and now Brozovic will bring the ball away, and at the minute it's quite end-to-end.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real mistake from Juranovic, the right back, just tried to hook the ball back over his head, swung his leg at it, I mean, missed the ball completely. It just about sums up the start for Croatia for me.
Brozovic, midway through the Canada half, he's given it away to Hutchinson. Walking pace is Kovacic, invites Lovren to come forward in the centre circle of the Canada half. Every black shirt back behind the ball. Fullbacks pushed on. Two central defenders seeing a little bit of the ball at the moment. Brozovic, who's the defensive midfielder at the minute for Croatia, back towards Lovren. Not a great deal of movement. Has to go out wide right to Juranovic. His forward ball. Kramaric midway through the Canada half. Lovren unchallenged, forward brawl. Brozovic now takes over. Modric passes the ball to Gvardiol, able to take the ball off his left foot, passes the ball out towards the far side, the left. Perisic has gone into a central area. Cross comes in now, easily headed away by Kamal Miller, able to turn off the chest in one swift movement by David, and he tried to volley the ball forward to Larin. The interception from Croatia. Kovacic accelerates, runs forward, edge of the penalty area, and an outstretched boot from Marco Livaya, and he just couldn't get on the end of it, and it runs through to Bojan.
Brilliant turn of acceleration from Kovacic. I mean, he didn't have to do too much to break through that line, and for the first time in this game, Canada looking a little bit vulnerable in a similar fashion to how Croatia have looked in this game so far, and just a slight toe on the ball from Livia, couldn't get enough contact on it to steer it past the goalkeeper, but nice burst of pace from Kovacic, just let them know that he's in the game. And if you want to stand off and give that much space, there's a lot of space in the middle. Both teams are allowing quite a bit of distance. It's not a condensed pitch at all, so I think we could see plenty of opportunities in this game.
That's the insightful Matthew Upson, the former England international defender, who's with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live, where Canada lead by 1-0. A goal after just 67 seconds from this man, Alphonso Davies, who's forward of the centre circle, gets away from Kovacic, the forward ball. Gvardiol with the interception, ball played forward then by the right back Alistair Johnston, and once again they are committing men forward, Canada. I really enjoyed the game against Belgium the other night when I was watching the television, the way that they played.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see Davies in a slightly different position as well, because he plays that wing back. There's a real lot of defensive work you have to get through, and you just seen him, little clip snippet of him there, how good his feet are, how well he can go past players. I think that's the exciting thing that he should bring to this Canada team. He's doing it in this game.
Hutchinson, a little tussle there with Modric, breaks back towards Davies, he passes the ball to Esteki, now out to Laria, back towards Davies once more. Challenge comes in from that midfield duo of Modric and Brozovic. They both went into the same ball, but Canada have still retained the ball. Out it goes now towards Buchanan, just flashes his right leg around the ball without making the contact. Then the cross comes in from the right back Johnston, goes out from where it came. Johnston's header taken well off the chest there by Buchanan. Tries to play the ball back towards Johnston. Canada really have got plenty of, must be 6-7 black shirts in and around the penalty area, really making life awkward for Croatia. And when they had it momentarily, they've lost it. The ball is spread out now to Laria on this near side. Juranovic shows him on the outside. Laria will try and get there. Juranovic then makes a challenge. Out of play it goes for a throw.
A bit better from Juranovic, got tighter, a bit more intensity in the tackle. Not seeing enough of that from Croatia. Out of possession, a little bit coasting round the pitch and just filling holes and not actually getting close enough to a black shirt.
Canada with the throw. Laria to take it on this near side. Looked a foul throw, and it was a foul throw from Laria. Reminder, tomorrow it's the final day of morning action actually on BBC Radio 5 Live. 10 o'clock, the build-up will start as always at 9 o'clock. Cameroon, Serbia at 10. We then got South Korea, Ghana at 1 in Group H. Then we go back to Group G for Brazil against Switzerland at 4. And Portugal, Uruguay rounds off tomorrow's action at 7 o'clock. So 4 more games for you on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Croatia still trailing here by a 1-0 and cleared long and out of play over on that side by Vittoria, the tall, lean central defender. But Croatia haven't really caused Canada too many problems in these opening 25 minutes.
Are you surprised?
A little.
Are you?
Are you not?
No, I didn't think. I watched Croatia their last game and they didn't play with much intensity, and that's the part of this game that could be the problem for them.
Levaya to Kramaric, takes it into the penalty area. Does he get a sight of goal? Yes, he does. But the flag goes up, right-footed, guides the ball into the left-hand side of the net. But his joy is short-lived. As he wheeled away towards the right, he was faced with a crushing sense of disappointment that the flag was up. It, of course, will be checked. But the flag was immediate, and it looks like the ball to Levaya was offside, not the return ball to Kramaric.
No, it's the initial ball through to Levaya. He's about half a yard offside. His little one touch into Kramaric was good, and that's the first time I've seen Kramaric move with any real intensity. Dropped a shoulder, feinted to go one way, then burst in behind. Really nice link-up play as well from Levaya. It's just a shame that he crept half a yard offside before the ball came to him. Otherwise that had been a really well worked goal, and the first little movement of link-up play we've seen from Croatia. It was pretty convincing, I have to say.
It was an excellent decision from the assistant referee as well.
It was.
At times you've seen sometimes think, we might leave it for the VAR, but
he put it up early, didn't he?
He did.
As soon as Kramaric peeled away to his right, he just saw the flag raised.
Sometimes as well at this World Cup, you get a referee from one country and an assistant referee from another, and the fourth official from another, and the other assistant referee from the other. But it's a Uruguayan team that is supporting Andre Matonte here today, who's only 34 years of age. That was a good decision. And Canada still lead by a 1-0. That goal was ruled out for Croatia. Modric out to Kramaric, keeps drifting out towards this right-hand side. He's over the halfway line. They're playing in their white and red tops from left to right, but trailing by a 1-0. Levaya, quite a stocky centre forward. Perisic,
good tackle that.
Tackled by Hutchinson and cleared long by Buchanan.
I think it was it Hutchinson or Johnston with that tackle, the right back?
Johnston.
Brilliant tackle. Perisic just had a slightly too heavy a touch, didn't he? But the decision, he went early, went to ground and really won the ball cleanly.
He can play right of a 3, or as he is here tonight as a right back, the Montreal defender, who didn't necessarily, that'll be a free kick, Levaya on Laria. He didn't rule out a move to Celtic, but he featured the most of all the Canadian players in qualifying. But he, along with Alphonso Davies, are the 2 players who are on a yellow card. So should they be booked tonight, they would miss what could be such a crucial game against Morocco. Whereas if you missed it earlier, Morocco in this group beat Belgium by 2-0, and so they currently sit top of Group F with 4 points. But if it was to stay like this, you'd have Morocco 4, Belgium and Canada on 3, and Croatia on 1 going into the final set of matches next Thursday. But we've only been playing for 29 minutes here in the Khalifa International Stadium, and there is a long, long way to go. As Kamal Miller who also plays his football at Montreal. Back to Boyan, the goalkeeper. Hutchinson takes it over. Laria plays it back. And now dropping back in between the two central defenders is Esteki to Vitoria. They work it across the back to that far side, the right. Esteki takes over, plays it forward, trying to just spin away from his man was Jonathan David. No fouls, says the referee. It'll be a free kick to Croatia.
They've got a lot of pace in their front players, Canada, haven't they? Looking at Buchanan, the way he's operating, he looks like he's got the ability to run past people. Alphonso Davies as well, obviously.
Croatia on the attack, Buchanan with the challenge, and that will be no foul. Sosa, the left back on that far side. Derby County have equalised in the FA Cup second round. Newport County 1, Derby County 1 is a latest score. Canada lead 1-0. Davies got a blow in the face there, and it was right in front of the referee. Lovren, half an hour played here. Canada still lead 1-0. Free kick to Canada.
Yeah, I mean, referee couldn't be better placed for that decision. Lovren's not happy because he's just trying to get his arm across to manoeuvre Davies out of the way. But I think his forearm's a little bit high and the elbow just goes on the cheek or on the side of the head. The referee's right on top of it, just sees it, blows for the foul, and it's quite an interesting position with the left foot of Davies looking to whip this one in from the left hand side. It's a bit of angle on it, it's quite deep and central, but they've got quite a few players forward, Canada.
And certainly concern for Croatia. They've got everybody back in and around the penalty area. Just one in the wall, that is Modric. He's preventing Davies going straight at goal, but in it goes. It's a whip ball, actually headed away well under pressure by Lovren, picked back up though by Johnston. And now Laria, and he checks Livaya. The two of them are just having a little bit of a shoving contest in the centre circle at the minute as he passed the ball all the way back to Boyan. I don't think he was too impressed with the lack of options. Headed forward by Johnston, who stayed out on this left-hand side, the right back. This is David, chips the ball through the middle. Esteki had made that run from midfield. Guardiola, though, with the header down. Kovacic now tries to get it out to Perisic, who just about gets away with it. It was Vitoria who dived in, and he only fractionally held up Perisic.
Anything could have happened there, Deno. That was one of those moments that could have gone well or very badly, and it ended up somewhere in between, didn't it? I mean, Vitoria came out and he made a bit of a gamble to get to the ball, and luckily the ball just kind of like ricocheted between the two players a little bit and allowed a teammate to get back in and stop that. But that was a really dangerous move, and they've got to be careful they don't push too much forward, Canada. They're starting to commit quite a lot when they're high up the pitch, and Croatia have the quality and the vision just to pick you off a little bit into those spaces if you're not careful.
I've got to say, before that moment, I was surprised that Johnston, as a right back, was over here on the left-hand side, which then vacated the gap.
Well, it's things like that sometimes in terms of the game management, you're 1-0 up, and I know it's early on in the game, so you're not trying to hang on to anything, but as a set play, don't stay up on the left wing, just make your way back into position maybe and get set properly.
Cross in low from Juranovic, cut out by Miller. Laria plays it forward, and then Esteki knocks it back towards Miller, who just puts his left foot on the ball, stands still, and only when he is faced by Modric. And now they're being pressed by Croatia. Laria at this near side, the left, is being penned in, and he's given away a throw which Kramaric wants to take quickly for Croatia, looking for an equaliser. Canada lead by 1-0 here, just under 12 minutes to go to half-time. Alphonso Davies with the goal after 67 seconds. He missed that penalty after 11 minutes against Belgium. One of 3 of 10 that have been missed so far in this World Cup. But Canada have got some defending to do. Juranovic to take a throw. A long one. In it comes now from the right-hand side. Rides up the chest of Kramaric. Looks for a shooting angle with his back to goal. Plays it out towards Sosa. The cross deep. Flicked away. Only as far as Modric. Cannons around in the penalty area. And eventually Canada will play it out, but have to concede another throw.
Yeah, that was not convincing defending in terms of just keeping your composure making sure you get a good connection with the ball when you're trying to clear it. There's a lot of wild swipes at the ball, pinball in the 18-yard box, and they're now defending what looks to be a long throw coming into the box.
Another one from Juranovic, level the penalty area on this near side to right, playing from left to right. In it is, it's direct to the feet of Modric, back to Modric right hand side, Modric with a right footed cross, tucked in there was Alistair Johnston to head the ball away. Modric though has it once more, back inside to Brozovic, who curls the ball to the left corner of the area. Livaja plays it out to Sosa, back more now with Kovacic. Brozovic, every outfield player in the Canada half. Modric just starting to pull some strings, coming onto this ball played forward now, and then the shot away from Livaja, and Bojan made the save. Straight at him, behind it goes for a corner.
Yes, the running and the movement of Kovacic again is really starting to get things moving in that midfield area for Croatia. Lovely play, link-up play, picks up the second ball, then slips it into Livia onto his right foot. I mean, straight at the goalkeeper, but he had to stay big and just make a big block to put it out for a corner.
Deflected off the knees of Bojan. Corner kick to Croatia. Still trailing by a goal to nil. Near side to right, right-footed. Gvardiol is up, Lovren is up there as well. Lovren didn't know where the ball was there as it last came off his head and went directly up in the air, and he was looking to the left and looking to the right before it could drop. Sosa on that far side, the left for Croatia, plays it forward. Gvardiol has stayed back to Kovacic. Estaki is in front of him, passes it to the left corner of the area. They've played it into Kramaric. Flag stays down on this occasion, and Kramaric for the equaliser 9 minutes before half time. We're back all square. Croatia won, Canada won.
Well, you could just feel that one coming. The dominance of Croatia has just slowly been creeping into this game, bit by bit. They've been growing and growing, starting to get up to speed. And this was a lovely work move, really good passing. I have to say Canada just switch off a little bit here, onto the left foot of Kramaric. And that's a really good finish. I mean, he picks up the ball on the corner of the 6-yard box almost. It's poor defending, but a really good finish into the far post.
Nobody had picked him up, had they? I'm not too sure whose responsibility it was, but he had so much space to turn inside left channel the penalty area. Just an instinctive first-time left-footed shot past Bojan into the side of the net. 1-1.
I think it was Hutchinson actually just switched off from midfield and he just got away from him.
And Canada have been pegged back after making that dream start with 8 minutes to go to half-time. And the group changes once more. A point would mean that Canada have still got something to cling to going into the final group game. The only permutation where they would be eliminated is if they were to lose here tonight to the runners-up in the World Cup of 2018. But it's the Croatian support in their pockets away towards our left-hand side who are celebrating now. 1-1 here in the Khalifa International Stadium, and after having that goal disallowed on this occasion, there was no question whatsoever for the former Leicester City man. With his 21st goal for Croatia on his 76th appearance.
I mean, it was just comfortable, wasn't it, in terms of how they moved the ball, Croatia. Not well enough set Canada, not really kind of honed into the movement and areas of the pitch, and he just drifted off the back of Hutchinson into that space, and it was quite a simple pass through. Nicely worked, but comfortable goal.
Croatia now breaking forward, and it's Kramaric running down that left-hand side. He cuts inside to the edge of the area, and now Canada have got enough players back, and he waits for the supporting run of Perisic, and it goes away from Brozovic in that midfield and is picked up by Bojan. But as Canada had committed men forward, Kramaric was looking to try and take full advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking quite vulnerable, aren't they, Canada, on the counter? If they're high up the pitch, it's probably the most dangerous position for them.
Ball played forward to Kyle Larin, unable to really ever get the ball at his feet, and and looked convincing as a striker on that occasion. The move breaks down. They've lacked that verve that they had when they played Belgium.
I know, I mean, you don't know how that an early goal can psychologically affect a team sometimes. I mean, it's obviously a positive thing you've scored, you know, and for them, especially in the World Cup, it's a big deal. But whether or not that just slightly changes your mindset, just dampens the fact you've got something to lose. You know, can create that feeling sometimes, Deno. And you haven't seen quite the same kind of energy and freedom that you saw in that first game.
Estakia has gone down at the moment. Croatian voices you can hear in the distance inside the Khalifa International Stadium. Estakia, not too sure what his problem was, but he's a very important player for them in the midfield. He likes to break up the play. Plays for Porto. Contribute the odd goal too from midfield, Stefan Estakia. And just before he sat down, there was words being exchanged between Modric and Laria as well. So a lot of the Croatians are taking on liquid refreshment at the moment. A reminder that we've got Spain, Germany to come from 7 o'clock, and then the reaction from today's games and the look ahead to tomorrow. Your daily dose from Doha on the World Cup Daily podcast, available on the BBC Sounds. And also, whilst Estakia is down, should just point out another special programme on BBC Sounds, particularly after yesterday's sad news regarding the death of Dodi Weir. There is a tribute to Dodi Weir, all about the great man that you can listen to. Certainly when I used to speak to him in my days at BBC Newcastle, he was one of the few people, Matt, that I actually had to look up to interview.
Yeah.
There was certainly Dodi, wonderful man, and then they had a lad called Richard Metcalf, who was even taller than Dodi, and his nickname was Too Tall. And then when he played for Scotland, the Scottish international, they changed his nickname to McTootal. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dodi was at the heart of that for changing the nickname. But all about Dodi Weir, remembering him, and our condolences to his family and friends. That's on BBC Sounds. 3 minutes to go to half-time. You're listening to 5 Live.
He sounds like an amazing personality.
Well, yeah, he certainly was. And what he's done since.
Yeah.
I think that will be his legacy. What was your nickname when you were playing for England?
It wasn't too tall.
That with Laria. You're not going to give us anything on that one then? No?
I don't know if I've got anything to give, to be honest.
Boyan clears it away. Gvardiol rises in the air. Estakia is picked up and is running okay after that treatment in the end of the first half here. 2.5 minutes to go to half time. Croatia 1, Canada 1, and Buchanan with a throw.
They'll want to see this to half time. Canada. It's not been a good last 10 minutes, has it? They've been pulled apart a little bit. Croatia stepped it up, started to get their passing game going, control of the ball in good areas of the pitch. I mentioned the running and the movement of Kovacic, and you know, they're looking like they could just pull apart that back four and move them around a little bit too easily.
I'd be fascinated with the mindset of Canada, particularly in the second half.
Yeah.
What John Herdman will do at the half-time team talk, bearing in mind that if they go all out for the 3 points and they get picked off, then they're eliminated. The 1 point might be something that they can then build on for their final match against Morocco.
And it keeps them in it, doesn't it?
It does. So how much adventure they will play with in the second half. It's one apiece at the minute. Modric back to Gvardiol. Lovren to Juranovic over the halfway line on this right hand side, gets the return ball. Juranovic running away from Alphonso Davies, just still going, helps it to Levaya with a shot, great finish, got it out from underneath his feet so quickly, right footed, finds the bottom left hand corner, and the man brought back into the Croatian side has turned it around just before half time, and Croatia lead Canada by 2-1.
Well, he's come into the team today to do his job, which is exactly this, put the ball in the back of the net, and he does it brilliantly with his finish. You know, credit to the build-up play, is superb on this Croatian right-hand side. The movement has all of a sudden kicked on another level, the directness, the energy. But Livia, with his right-footed strike, I mean, it's so clean. The ball pops to him, it's a tackle from Miller, who goes to ground, but he can't get enough on the ball to really clear it. It slips through to Livia, takes one touch, and it's a brilliant striker's finish. Right-footed across the goalkeeper, into the bottom corner. Really good goal from Croatia.
And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, then that conversation about the mindset now is all-out attack as far as Canada are concerned in the second half, because this is a scoreline that would eliminate them. So they're certainly going to have to get something from it. Croatia with 2 goals in 8 minutes and now leading by 2 goals to 1.
The quality of Croatia is just standing out at the moment, isn't it? The last 20 minutes.
Perisic with the cross from the left-hand side, hooked away by Esteki, and they're actually looking for more goals now. We're into 5 minutes of added on time here in the end of the first half on BBC Radio 5 Live, but he just took it so well, because he actually had to take a couple of touches to get it out before he could strike it right.
It was kind of under his feet a little bit, and he had to dig it out and then get it into position, and the strike, well, super clean and accurate into the bottom corner. I mean, they brought him in because of his goal record of late. Is a lot better than other strikers in the team. He's scoring a lot of goals domestically. Looks to be a good move from Zlatan Dalic.
Hutchinson plays the ball out to David. He'll win a throw for Canada. They look a little bit shell-shocked.
Oh, totally. It's almost like they're just not coping with the quality in the movement at the moment. It's too good. I mean, they've started the game well, but Croatia haven't panicked. They looked a little bit lacklustre in the opening probably 10-15 minutes. I thought they were struggling a bit, but they certainly have come into this game strongly again.
Croatia with Kramaric looking for Livia. Timely header away by Vitoria, kept in play on that far side by Johnston, but has only presented the ball then for Perisic, who will pull the ball back. Here is Kramaric with a shot on the edge of the area, left-footed, couldn't keep it down. Out of play it goes for a goal kick. They still lead by 2 goals to 1.
Yeah, they've got the taste now, they really have. Great work from Perisic, saw the touch onto the line. He was going to keep the ball in, Johnston, but read it so well, stole it from him. And then there's 6 players arriving from Croatia in the 18-yard box. That's the belief they have right at this moment in time, that they can go and get another goal before half-time.
That's Matt Upson. Peter Schmeichel will be in the 5 Live commentary box with John Murray. Kelly Cates presenting from the stadium for Spain-Germany at 7 o'clock. And Germany certainly under real pressure going into that game. They have a dreadful record against Spain. So that's from 7. And like this one, you'll be able to listen to it and watch it through World Cup Extra on the BBC iPlayer. But we're in stoppage time here in the Khalifa International Stadium, where Croatia, who were trailing by 1-0, are leading by 2 goals to 1. David, just outside the centre circle, plays the ball out wide. Johnston does well to keep it in play. Ahead of him with a little touch now is Buchanan, coming in off that right touch line. Hutchinson, now towards Miller. Esteki wanders across, backpedaling to this near side, the left. All in black, playing from right to left. Croatia have everybody back behind the ball. Hutchinson, the captain for Canada, out towards Johnston. Back to Hutchinson. Little touch from David. Falls down. Uruguayan referee not having any of that. So Croatia now will break, and the ball goes through the middle, and it's to Kramaric. Livia tries to hold his run. The support now comes from Brozovic, played behind him by Kovacic, and now Perisic looking to try and get on the end of that, but scooped up by Bojan. Particularly down the left, they've caused Canada problems.
They look relaxed, don't they? Croatia enjoying it, smooth, counter-attacking well. When they win the ball back, they've got good runs forward, they're timing it well. They look really comfortable at the moment, Croatia.
Buchanan coming forward over the halfway line. Esteki, out it goes. He's pulled out a little. Actually, Davies did ever so well to keep that ball in play on this near side, the left. Buchanan now in a central area. Man over on the right, not required. He plays it short and forward towards David, but he's been shrugged off the ball. And all of a sudden the break is on with Kovacic. And Kovacic passes the ball out towards Perisic. And the cross comes in first time. that was Guardiola, who was leading the line.
And I don't think he was seen, because the ball went out wide early to Perisic, whereas really the pass to Guardiola might have well been on. It'd have been 1v1 with Miller, or put it in behind Miller even, and he looked like he had him for pace at that moment in time. But another example of the ball breaking down is it's going into the striker for Canada, into David, to Jonathan David or Larin. They're just not getting hold of the ball, are they? It's getting stolen, and all of a sudden Croatia are on the counter-attack, and it's just so open at the back for Canada.
It was the central defender streaking into the penalty box.
Yeah.
Corner's been taken short on the left-hand side. I won't ask you if you ever did that.
I knew that was coming.
I'm not predictable, am I?
Don't answer that. I was just at the back waving people up. Go on, up you go.
Sosa back into the centre circle. You'll be having a word with the editors. Can I make sure I'm not working with him tomorrow night?
Can we put Deno on the front paper with a maple leaf on it?
Thankfully the half-time whistle has sounded. Croatia lead Canada by 2-1, and it started so well for the Canadians with their first ever goal at a Men's World Cup. A header from Alphonso Davies, the quickest of the tournament so far, 67 seconds. But Croatia had a goal disallowed, Kramaric, but then he did score after 36 minutes. And then Livaya just before half-time, 2-1, Nat.
Interesting game, isn't it? Kind of started as I really thought it would do, in terms of Canada out the blocks, with the energy, with the purpose. Croatia not quite as good as what you'd expect, a little bit laboured, and that's how they started. But whether or not the goal switched the mindset a little bit, or they felt a little bit fearful, Canada, they just haven't been able to carry that on and take anything to Croatia, who, by the way, hats off to them, after looking really a little bit sloppy in the opening 10 minutes, have come right back into this first half and looked very controlled, very comfortable, and shown moments of real quality.
Thank you, Jules. Two changes that have been made by John Herdman. Jonathan Osorio has come on for Kyle Larin, and Ismail Kone has replaced Esteki. Now, we saw that Esteki had gone down at times in that first half, so it means, of course, that John Herdman will still have an opportunity to make, well, at three intervals, to bring on essentially three more players. But that's a double change at the start of the second half, and there are two midfielders who've come on from midfield and are a forward, so I'm thinking that there's probably going to be a change of formation here as they just settle down in the restart. So Canada trailing by 2-1 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Croatia coming from behind, and Bojan is in goal. Johnston, Vittoria and Miller. I think now they're going to go with the three central defenders, are they, at the back? Or is it still a flat back?
It looks a 4, because to me Larea is still playing at left back. Yeah.
So Larea then is at the left back. That's the defence. Then the midfield, you've got Hutchinson, Kone, Davies, Buchanan, Osorio and Jonathan David. For Croatia, Livakovic is in goal. It's a back four of Juranovic, Gvardiol, Lovren and Sosa. Brozovic, Kovacic, Modric in the midfield. Perisic out wide left, Kramaric on the right. Lavia through the middle. He got the second goal that gives Croatia the lead. And so Canada have got to produce something in this second half, otherwise they will be eliminated. Matt Upson.
To be fair, I think it does actually look like a back five, because Buchanan looks to have dropped back into the right wing-back position, with Larea in the left wing-back position, which I think just frees Alphonso Davies up to play high up the pitch as centre forward with Jonathan David. And I think that's more the thinking. They were getting unstuck too easily. They can't afford to go a goal down in the opening 5-10 minutes of this second half. So I think they've gone to that back five just to secure it up a little bit, and then rely on a breakaway or a bit of attacking flair from one of his front three.
So then we're looking at a midfield three of Kone, Hutchinson and Jonathan Osorio, with Alphonso Davies now in a more advanced position.
Correct.
Alongside Jonathan David up front. So Matt Upson with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live, 2.5 minutes into the second half, and they've got it all to do, have Canada, who in 4 years' time will of course be one of the three co-hosts. At least they've finally ended their barren spell of scoring. They've now just got to try and secure their first point at a men's World Cup, as here in the midfield is Ismail Kone, the substitute just outside the centre circle, all in black, playing from left to right as we look. And it's with Hutchinson. Special landmark for him tonight with his 100th appearance. Buchanan's cross from the right strikes the legs of Guardiola. And that caught Hutchinson full on the face, but it actually falls towards Buchanan, who chips the ball towards the far side, and Laria was there in an advanced position with a cushion header, cleared away by the Croatian defence. Picked back up, Osorio, edge of the D, looks for a shooting opportunity, and it just drifts wide. Hit it right-footed. It was around head height, and it was agonising as it just seemed to pull wide of that left-hand post just at the last moment. It looked goal-bound for so long.
Yeah, I really thought I was going to see the net ripple there. Really nice effort from Osorio, just come on at half-time, drops his shoulder, takes on one defender, pops it onto his right foot, and then just hits a really nice strike across the goal. Little bit of dip on it, but always just fading away from that post. When it set off, it looked like it was on target, didn't it? It looked like it was going to hit the post and go in, or just nestle inside the post, but with the swing of the ball, it just pulled wide of it.
My first World Cup for BBC Radio 5 Live was it Germany 2006. One of my first games would have been with the great Jimmy Armfield, and he'd have said we were right behind that, and we were right behind it. We just saw it drop wide. 5 minutes into the second half, and Canada, that will offer encouragement for Canada. Bojan, who is being booed by the Croatian support. Red Star Belgrade goalkeeper, as ball played back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol holds off the challenge of David and dinks the ball onto the chest of Buchanan and gets a throw for his trouble as well. Perisic, by the way, with the assist in the first half. He's been involved in more goals than any other Croatian player in tournament history now. 9 goals and 6 assists, as the ball now is with Alphonso Davies, challenged though by Modric.
I mean, when you see the speed at which Alphonso Davies accelerates into situations, it's unbelievable.
Kovacic is accelerating now, and he passes the ball out wide, forces Kramaric to collect that ball on the right touchline. Kramaric with the cross, too deep. Perisic had come in off the left touchline. Here is Sosa on this near side. What an inviting ball that was, and it was an awkward one for the goalkeeper. It was dropping around knee height. He'd gone to his knees actually, and it was cleared away in front of him. Such a teasing ball.
It really was. Floated beautifully with his left foot. It was right in that channel. The goalkeeper had to come, but really anything could have happened. He was just gambling. Wasn't connected with by the first Croatian player running across the face of the ball, and he just fumbled it out into the penalty box. It's all he could do really. It was a great delivery.
Going to be a yellow card here shown, and that is to Buchanan for the foul on Gvardiol. It was a deliberate trip, just caught him on the back of the calves, and the first yellow card of the game is shown to the Canadian player.
Really cynical, wouldn't it? Just nowhere near him, tripped him up, and that's not the first time Gvardiol's gone on a little mazy run from the back, is it? As you pointed out in the first half.
Yeah, well,
gets forward, doesn't he? Not like all centre-backs.
Croatia have come from behind. Derby County have come from behind in the FA Cup second round. Newport County 1, Derby County 2. Underway at Portman Road is Ipswich Buxton. That was a 5 o'clock kick-off. That is actually on Sports Extra as we speak. Aaron Paul will keep us up to date should there be a goal. The draw tomorrow night is at 7 o'clock on BBC 2 television. Free kick out towards the right. Hutchinson heads it away for Canada. Modric, 37 years of age. He was the best player in Russia 4 years ago. And whether it's he, Messi or Ronaldo, when you see these great players, it really is a privilege to see them in the flesh.
Yeah. Oh, he's magnificent, isn't he? Just the ability to see passes in, the way he just flicks things with the outside of his boot. I love the passes where he just lifts things around the corner, little balls over the top. He's incredible player.
8 minutes into the second half, Canada need a response. They're trailing by 2 goals to 1. Modric loses out in the midfield to Kone. Out it goes to Laria. Forward on the left-hand side. 2 wait inside the penalty area. Osorio makes it 3. Hutchinson also getting him for the back. Kone can't thread it through. They might leave themselves vulnerable now to the counter-attack. This is Kovacic just outside the centre circle of his own half. Over the half ball, over the halfway line, he carries it to Sosa, the left back. Croatia in their red and white checkered shirts are playing from right to left as we look. And they're into their stride now. And in particular this man, Modric. Out it goes to Kramaric, who waits. Back towards Modric once again. Brozovic makes himself available. Lovely reverse pass. They've got round the back. Modric pulls it back. Kramaric again. Excellent save by Bojan. He had all the time in the world to take the right-footed shot as it was pulled back. And Bojan, moving away to his right, made the save. And a crucial save too.
Beautiful move from Croatia. I mean, it's a pleasure watching how they're playing at the moment in terms of link-up play, movement. Modric has the ball wide. He drops his shoulder to feint to go one way, makes the run in behind. Brozovic exactly on the same wavelength, slides that little pass inside the fullback to Modric. He's then breaking into the box, head up, cut back to the penalty spot. Deserved a goal, didn't it? It was a decent save. It wasn't the cleanest of strike. I think any power on the strike would have took it into the net, but lovely move.
Corner's been taken short. Modric to Kovacic with the back heel, and the cross comes in on this near side. Alphonso Davies is back there helping out, prevents it from going behind. Challenge though from Modric was an unfair one, said the Uruguayan referee Andre Motonte.
There's that little ball there from Modric. Did you see it?
A little back heel.
It's the outside of the right boot. When it goes
with the cross, yeah.
When it goes across his body, he won't use his left foot. He just manages to get his right foot running. The accuracy is like a little scoop, isn't it? Into there, he gets his head up, sees where the runner is. He's so good when he's at that goal line, being able to pick players out.
Didn't he do that in the Champions League last season?
Yeah.
With a ball that he just
floated over the top.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Canada attacking. Osorio into the penalty area, plays it back, edge of the area. Buchanan goes square. First time shot comes in from Jonathan David, and the keeper I think got a touch to that. Meanwhile, Lovren has been shown a yellow card for a challenge earlier on. The referee played the advantage. That was a very good attack from Canada.
Lovely reply from Canada, in fact. Good play, and it's an important touch. I think that the shot's going in from Jonathan David, who already dipped and maybe hit the crossbar. Livakovic has to get his hand on that and steer that one over, but nice breakaway. Canada just letting Croatia know they're still in this game and they're able to do damage if need be.
Lovren was shown the yellow card. Hutchinson had gone off the field of play. He's come back on with a swab stuffed up one of his nostrils as nothing materialises from the corner kick.
A swab stuffed up a nostril, and it was kind of, oh yeah, I can see, just like hanging down as well, like must have got a bang to the nose, off the ball maybe. I didn't see that happen, did you?
No, I didn't. The referee did, because as soon as the ball went out of play, the Uruguayan official gave a yellow card to Lovren. Yeah, Lovren's been booked. I only imagine it was for that. Yep. 12 minutes into the second half. And Croatia leading by 2 goals to 1. Don't forget Rick Edwards, he's out here for 5 Live Breakfast in Qatar. He'll be alongside Rachel, not literally, from 6 in the morning tomorrow. Final day of morning action, then our coverage once more will start at 9 o'clock. First game of 4 tomorrow, Cameroon against Serbia at 10 o'clock. We've still got Spain against Germany. Oh, that was a loose ball by Bojan, straight to Perisic with the cross, but it goes straight towards the goalkeeper. He returns the ball to the Canadian, who now throws it out underarm to Buchanan, who sends Alphonso Davies away, teetering down the touchline, right hand side, cuts in play, edge of the area, back towards Buchanan, shot charged down by the heels of Brozovic. Kramaric back there helping out. I mean, there will become a point, Matt, where Canada will throw caution to the wind, commit those black shirts forward, but then they run the risk of conceding more goals.
Yeah, we may be not quite there yet, but we're not too many minutes away from that having to be the tactics, and they're going to rely so heavily on Alphonso Davies. I mean, he keeps balls in play that just look like they're going out of play, doesn't he? He's got this amazing kind of turn of pace to get hold of something.
Matt Upson, an experience of scoring at a World Cup for England 12 years ago in Bloemfontein, who's part of our Five Live team here in Qatar. Canada with the ball. Alphonso Davies, though, dispossessed in the midfield by Kovacic. Nice turn from the Chelsea man. With his experience, he just teed it forward towards Sosa, the left back, who'd gone too far ahead of him on this near side, the left, and they've lost the ball. And Hutchinson now will try and attack that gap that has been vacated, but Gvardiol just dropped across to cover. And then with Perisic, they've dealt with that very, very well. Yeah,
good cover from Croatia, because Hutchinson just nutmegged Gvardiol then. Didn't get it the other side because he just got his body across and blocked him, but a little bit of a 1v1, and I think Croatia just starting to realise that sooner or later, like we just mentioned, Canada are going to really go for this game, and they're going to have to be ready defensively and then try and hit them on that counter-attack.
They certainly will attack. They'll look to go forward, they'll look to get something from it. He's got an opportunity to always try and prove people wrong, John Herdman, as the boos and whistles grow ever louder for Milan Borjan from the Croatian supporters, directed towards the Canadian keeper. Here is Livaya, taken off his toes by Vitoria, but it's not going to be Herdman who's going to be making a change. Instead it is going to be Zlatko Dalic who's going to make the change, and the player who's going to be coming on is going to be Bruno Petkovic, who's a forward for Dinamo Zagreb, and Livaya, who got the second goal, is the player who goes off, so it's like for like.
He's done well, Livaya, been impressed with him. Got a good domestic goal record at the moment, which I think is why that change has been made, because Croatia not looking too hot up front in the first game. I think only 2 shots on target, lots of little creative situations, but no real cutting edge, and he's brought a little bit of that today, has to be said. Took his goal excellently.
He certainly did. He just goes up and has a little handshake and then a hug from Zlatko Dalic. Quite stocky, wasn't he, Livaya?
Yeah, he certainly was.
But as you say, that goal just before half-time to give Croatia this precious lead.
I actually like Kramaric wider of the 3 as well. I think that suits him, that role, because he's really pacey. He doesn't mind the 1v1 situations. He's not just one of these players that's in the box and likes to get on the end of things, which is, I think Livaya is more that out-and-out kind of striker that likes to stay central. I think Kramaric has looked good in wide areas here.
Gvardiol again with another well-timed sliding challenge, and it will go out for a throw because Davies had skipped over the first challenge. Now, we'd said that they'd made the changes at half-time and they'd still got other opportunities. Here is another one of those for Canada, and it is Laria who comes off, and it's Junior Hoylett, the ex-Blackburn, Queen's Park Rangers and Cardiff player, who's going to be coming on now at Reading, of course, for his 48th cap. So Hoylett is on, and Canada have been awarded a free kick quite close to the right corner of the penalty area.
I mean, it looks like Buchanan has gone over to the left wing-back position, I think, from how that started. As I look at the replay of Gvardiol on Davies, and he's given a foul away, and it's literally right on the corner of the 18-yard box, and this is dangerous territory for somebody with his kind of left foot. If he gets a good delivery in the box, I don't know if he's going to shoot a goal, but it's tailor-made for any kind of Canadian players running across the face of this ball. Can make life very different for Livakovic in goal for Croatia.
Canada are playing from left to right. They're trailing by 2-1. It's a free kick. right corner of the area. Alphonso Davies did go for goal, struck the leg to the three-man wall, out of play, goes for a throw.
He tried and go underneath the wall there. It looked like he went to try and go low and into that near post area, hoping that the Croatian wall would jump.
Remember though, when we were talking about Gvardiol, we once, it was around transfer deadline day, and we had Christopher Vivel on from Leipzig. I think he was the sporting director. He'll be moving to Chelsea very, very soon if he hasn't already. And I remember asking him about Gvardiol, and he said he will become the best central defender in the world, which was...
It's quite an endorsement.
It is, yeah. And certainly would help, I would imagine, if Chelsea were to pursue their interest in the Leipzig defender. They signed him for £16 million from Dinamo.
He looks very good, then, I have to say.
Yeah.
You know, he's very mobile, fast across the ground, gets forward as well.
We've been playing for over an hour, and Croatia are leading 2-1. Canada are facing elimination in the first World Cup finals in the men's tournament since 1986. Croatia with Modric, right hand side. Modric tries to get away from the challenge over on that far side. It was Osorio who was back there helping out, and Lovren plays it back to Gvardiol, who Rich has been talking about. It just feels an element of control that Croatia have in this game at the moment.
Yeah, they've had it probably since about 20 minutes into the game, I would say. They didn't open particularly well, but since then, and maybe the goal going in has just given them a little shake up to say, right, we need to step it up here, guys. And I think the whole team generally has done that. They've looked very much in control, slick passing moves, and they've competed a lot better, which they were struggling. They gave Canada too much space early on, and they got exploited. And hats off to how they've reacted, and I think they've put in a good team performance since then.
Well, certainly they're in a good run of form. They've only lost one of their last 17 matches, have Croatia. That was against Austria in June, as Perisic with the throw on this left-hand side just helps it on its way towards Kovacic, effective in the midfield. That was a nice little back heel. Perisic and Kovacic linking up, and they get another throw on this near side, the left. 65 minutes we have played so far in the Khalifa International Stadium, and waiting to take this throw is Perisic. In it goes now, over the head of Petkovic. Hoylett linking up with Alphonso Davies, then it breaks down. Gvardiol likes to get forward at every opportunity. It was his low ball in from the left. It has been bowled out by Borjan. Canada just appear to have lost their way.
They're not putting anything together at all at the moment. I know they've made some substitutions. Sometimes that can just unsettle things a little bit, but they're sat in their shape at the moment. But in terms of attacking wise, they probably had one real opportunity they've put together that has come from a good piece of play where they've had possession and developed a situation. But other than that, in this second half, they've really struggled to really string passes together and get up the pitch.
Alphonso Davies turns and finds Kone in the central point midway through the Croatia half. That was excellent defending by Juranovic. He read that, threw himself at it, sliding forward, clattered it out of play for a throw that Canada will take. But we're approaching the midway point of the second half here on BBC Radio 5 Live, and it's Croatia who still have the slender lead. This is Hoylett being forced back by Sosa, the left back tracking him, forcing him back over the halfway line. Hutchinson drops in between the central defenders. Miller now hits a left-footed ball up towards Buchanan, actually, who's now popped up on the left-hand side, and he gets a throw.
He's taken over that left wing-back position since the last change, and I think Hoylett is playing a lot higher, maybe just off the front two.
Here is Vitoria in the centre circle along the ground. Johnston has gone into a central area. He's been given away, easily read by Modric, who glides over the surface, shrugs off the one challenge, plays the ball to Petkovic. who was behind Kramaric, who looks a little annoyed at the ball. It would have been a decent attack for Croatia until it broke down. Now all of a sudden there's a chance to try and get Alphonso Davies away, but that was again read very, very well by Guardiola.
It was brilliant.
He's been outstanding.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was trouble. When Alphonso Davies spins off you and there's space in behind, you have to cut that ball out, otherwise you're finished. Like you're not catching him at that moment, and he reads the line of the ball. You can criticise the pass to say lift it, take it out, don't allow Guardiola to make that interception, but the space was there. They thought they could thread it between, and he really stepped across early and read the situation.
Excellent play by Kovacic. He was getting challenged, he retained his balance, he stumbled a little bit, but the forward ball to Petkovic was always away from him, and Bojan was sliding away off his goal line. Good anticipation. So Canada looking for an equaliser after taking a very quick lead here in the Khalifa International Stadium. Goal officially timed at 67 seconds. Need to make a change of that. I'd still got 68 written down on my notepad in front of me. Out it goes now to Hoyle on this right hand side, but so many Croatian shirts, the red and white checkered shirts were back there preventing him from going through, and it's being played back by Kone. Bojan comes out of his penalty area, his forward ball, Miller in the centre circle, and not really going anywhere at the moment, Canada. Miller decides to charge forward from defence, but they've given the ball away, and that now could mean problems because Miller is so far forward. Kramaric turns back towards Modric. Kramaric had then made a run off Hutchinson. He's still unmarked now. Petkovic is offside. They have to be careful here, Croatia, as the ball goes out to Perisic on this near side, the left, still leading by 2-1. He cuts inside, it's the cross, and this is an opportunity for Kramaric, and he's taken it. Brilliant touch from Kramaric, and the finish as well into the bottom left-hand corner was very, very neat. And now they have daylight, and Canada are facing elimination because Croatia lead Canada by 3-1, and what a fine goal it was too.
You have to congratulate the quality of this goal, you really do. It's just a brilliant finish from Kramaric. The build-up plays nice, the cross into the box, but his first touch is absolutely different class. It just sets up the whole chance. It's peeled off to the back post, and he receives the ball on his right foot, but it's almost like a half volley controlled touch onto his left foot, and he then just guides it really cautiously, just controlled, and it might go through the legs of one of the players, but he knows exactly whereabouts he wants to feed that ball with his left foot, bends it into the far post. Absolutely no chance for Bojan in goal. He can get nowhere near it, but the first touch, Deno, it's absolutely spot on, wasn't it?
Yeah, certainly was. Former Leicester City player, what was it, 20 appearances and 4 goals at Leicester in the season of 15-16. They're looking for more goals here. It was a low cross in from the right hand side from Modric. Kramaric was on the end of it. We've seen the quickest goal here tonight in this World Cup so far, and we were probably around centimetres away from him connecting as he threw himself at it, but maybe even seen the first hat-trick at this World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be some performance if he did get that hat-trick. He's been very good, and like I touched on before, I've really enjoyed seeing him in a wider area. He's got a good turn of pace, Deno. He's very mobile, and I think he suits that ability to go wide and then arrive into the box. He's done very well. I don't think he's going to get his hat-trick though, from what I can see. Well, he's walking towards the touchline at the moment.
Yeah, he is going to be coming off. Meanwhile, Canada have made a double change, and they've used all 5 substitutes now, because the equation for Canada in these 18 minutes that remain is that they've got to score 2 goals and hope they don't concede any more. Otherwise they're going out. So Adekube has come on, and Cavallini has come on. Cavallini has replaced Jonathan David. So Lucas Cavallini of Vancouver Whitecaps replaces the Lille forward. and Hutchinson has gone off, the Centurion for Canada, so he's been replaced by Adekube. And then the Croatia change was Nikola Vlasic has come on for Kramaric. He was a doubt with a calf problem, so former West Ham and Everton player who started the last game getting a run out for these closing 17 minutes of normal time, where Croatia are leading by 3 goals to 1.
I think what's interesting as well, when you look at the game as a whole and Canada's performance as well, is whether or not the physicality of the match in their first game. They gave everything, didn't they?
Yeah.
They've looked a little bit flatter, a little bit lower energy in this match, haven't they? Especially in the second half. I think you're playing against an experienced side of Croatia who have been to the end levels time and time again in terms of tournament football and extra time and all the rest of it. In 4 years ago, their fitness was one of their key assets, wasn't there? As a team, Croatia, they were brilliant, and that has shown in this match a little bit today.
Yeah. When you think to that Belgium game, after 32 minutes, they'd fired in 12 shots.
Yeah.
They finished with 22 shots at the Belgian goal. Only 3 were on target, mind, as the cross comes in for Canada. Alphonso Davies, Buchanan was there, didn't stick out a left leg, and in the end it was Livakovic, the goalkeeper, but the flag was up on this near side anyway. It wouldn't have counted, he was offside. But they just haven't been able to replicate that intensity.
No. But it's hard if you can be in danger of punching yourself out, can't you? And like you say, they threw a lot of punches in that first game, gave a lot, gave everything they had, and it showed in their performance, and it quite rightly got talked about in a very positive way. But repeating that time and time again, or into this game so soon after, may well have been a slight factor in the end game result.
Well, they have a quarter of an hour to try and produce a remarkable comeback, and it will certainly mean for a very, very tight group going into the final set of matches for the other 3 sides, because Canada will be out, but we will have Morocco and Croatia on 4 points and Belgium on 3, and the final set of matches on the 1st of December on Thursday, Croatia against Belgium and Canada against Morocco. So you can certainly see why it was important for Croatia to get 3 points out of this game here today. Corner's been taken short on the left-hand side. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. We've got Spain-Germany coming up at 7 o'clock. After this game, we'll be switching to Kelly Cates in the stadium, who sat alongside John Murray and Peter Schmeichel, and that is also on BBC television, so you can listen and watch through World Cup Extra on the iPlayer, as you can for this game and for the entirety of that one. Ipswich Buxton is currently on Sports Extra. It's the FA Cup second round. There's been a goal. Aaron Paul.
Ipswich 1, Buxton 0. A really good goal from the League One side, who have controlled things here. Ian Wes Burns played a ball across the edge of the D, and there was Connor Chaplin to place an effort into the bottom left-hand corner of the net. Ipswich 1, Buxton 0.
And Derby County have beaten Newport County by 2 goals to 1. They came from behind there in South Wales, as here is Hoyland, former Cardiff player, shoots from distance, right-footed, tracks it wide. So Derby County join Burton Albion, Boreham Wood, who knocked out Bristol Rovers by 2 goals to 0, and Fleetwood in the hat for the 3rd round draw tomorrow night. You can watch that on BBC 2 at 7 o'clock. But this is day 8 of the World Cup, and Canada will be eliminated like the hosts Qatar if it stays like this. They have scored their first ever goal, but they are yet to pick up a point in this, their 5th match at a men's World Cup tournament. El Salvador holds the record of the longest sequence without a win. That was 6, so that might well be equalled if Canada don't get the victory against Morocco next Thursday. But with 13 minutes remaining, you don't get the sense that they look like getting their way back into this contest, Matt Upson.
Oh, it'd be a massive turn up really if they were to get back in this game. It really has been Croatia's almost all the way from the The opening 15 minutes of the game, they've just stamped their authority on this match, showed quality, showed control, energy at times. I'm looking at Kovacic now driving the ball forwards from the middle of the park. He has been everywhere today.
He has, he really has had a fine game. Perisic once again doing the step overs, almost goes to goal, comes out to Kovacic, and then Petkovic has the shot blocked by the goalkeeper Bojan. So close to a fourth goal.
Should be four. I don't understand why Kovacic passed it actually. Get it onto your right foot and hit it. It was really unselfish what he did.
Now the counter-attack, and it's played forward to Alphonso Davies, keeps the ball in play, pulls it back, Hoylett's cross, headed out. Perisic looking towards Modric, Canada try and get it back.
The difference in quality in those situations we've just seen in the two, you can really tell, can't you? That final ball from Canada, that ability to get your head up and select the right pass. Croatia have done it every time they've been in positions. They've really executed their moves consistently throughout the game. We just haven't seen that same quality from Canada.
44,374 inside a stadium that holds just under 46,000 here in Doha, and a lot of them will be disappointed because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 banks in the lower reaches over on that far side in this expansive Khalifa Stadium where the red shirts, the Canadian supporters, are housed. And just think they were maybe thinking what could have been after they took the lead after a goal after just 67 seconds, but Croatia have hit back. It makes you wonder what the Croatian media might do now with the Maple Leafs and John Herdman on the front pages of the Croatian papers in the morning.
I've moved on from that, Jenna. Don't take me back to that dark place where I'm picturing things I don't want to.
Perisic was the player who was getting treatment. He looks like he's all right to continue. He got the assist again for the third goal, so he's taken his tally now to 7 assists to add to his 9 goals for the most involvement for a Croatian player during tournament football. Certainly, you look at his record. He actually only needs 1 goal to move level with Mandzukic. But 2 goals he scored at 2014 in the World Cup. He followed up with another 2 goals at Euro 2016, 3 in Russia. And he was certainly pivotal as Croatia beat England in the semi-final, I remember, in the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow, and then another 2 goals at Euro 2020. So he has really been a key player down the years for Croatia, and it's proved to be tonight as they lead by 3 goals to 1. Another goal in that FA Cup second round tie at Portman Road. Aaron Paul.
Ipswich 2, Buxton 0. Cracking run from Kane Vincent-Young down the left hand side. His cross come shot found Ghassan Ahadme for his first Ipswich goal, and the Tractor Boys very much in control in this FA Cup tie. Ipswich 2, Buxton 0.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra, and a little later on tonight, a break from the World Cup, if you so wish. NFL coverage on Sports Extra at around 9 o'clock. Arizona are at the LA Chargers. Just think 4 years' time, could be in Los Angeles as well, or certainly on the west coast of America, co-host with Canada and Mexico in 2026.
A little bit more travelling than Qatar, isn't it? Slightly bigger area to cover.
Yeah, bearing in mind that it's just the 46 miles between the 8 stadiums here in Qatar, the maximum travelling distance. Great vocal support from the Croatian fans who've certainly put in plenty of travel, whether it be Rijeka, Zagreb, Osijek, wherever they've come from that lovely country in Croatia. Very, very vocal away towards our left-hand side, and their side are leading by 3 goals to 1. Perisic shoots, left-footed, dragged it wide, left-footed, edge of the area, out for a goal kick. 8 minutes of normal time remaining. Certainly, though, it's going to be a very exciting final set of matches next Thursday.
It really is, isn't it? I mean, that Belgium-Croatia, it's going to be fascinating. Really is. I mean, Croatia taking this performance and result into that game to a Belgium team that's a little bit on the floor at the moment, I'd say, in terms of confidence and how they're feeling. Could really be an interesting match.
Well, I'll tell you who else was on the floor. It was inside this stadium not that long ago, Germany. How will they respond against Spain? Because at the minute you've got Japan on 3 points and Costa Rica on 3 points after Costa Rica beat Japan by a 0-0 earlier. Spain can qualify if they can beat Germany, but that would really put Germany up against it. So it's a vital game. Peter Schmeichel and John Murray will be providing commentary alongside Kelly Cates. All the build-up to come from 7 o'clock, and earlier Belgium 0, Morocco 2 was the scoreline in this group, which means that's why it's going to be so tight going into those final matches next Thursday. Comprehensive coverage of the World Cup on 5 Live, whether it be with Rick Edwards and Rachel Burden at breakfast from 6, or then with all the games live on the station and also through BBC Sounds. Hoylett out towards the far side, asking far too much of Osorio. I don't think the changes have helped Canada at all. They've become too disjointed.
Yeah, they're disjointed. They're not too sure about the movements, the patterns, which I think they had nailed down in the first game. But I've been interestingly watching this little duel between Alphonso Davies and Gvardiol, the centre-back for Croatia. It's been really interesting seeing them two joust against each other, the change of direction. Davies keeps dropping short with the ball, spinning, trying to get turned, wants to face him up and beat him 1v1, and Gvardiol showing really good mobility to try and deal with him. It's a good matchup.
There's just been a yellow card shown to Modric and Kamal Miller, the defender for Canada. The Uruguayan referee, certainly Miller seemed to take exception to something from Modric, and there was quite a forceful push in the chest by Miller on Modric, but the referee has shown a yellow card to both players, as Croatia, you sense, feel that the game is won, because Dalic is going to make a triple change in these closing stages. Canada have the ball on this near side, the right. Alphonso Davies waits. Back it goes then to Johnston. Johnston cross strikes the back of Perisic, kept in play by Johnston once again. And now it's with Vitoria. Every outfield player is in the Croatian half, but it's quite a high line from that the Croatian back line. And now the changes will be made, which means we can get the team news from Spain, Germany. It's coming up on BBC Radio 5 Live at 7, and it'll be in the company of John Murray.
Well, this is the group that's thrown up some surprises. Luis Enrique for this one suggested he would make changes after their 7-0 win in their opening match, but there's just the one, and that is Carvajal coming in for Azpilicueta at right back. Hansi Flick makes 2 changes as Germany look to get off the mark. Havertz and Schlotterbeck make way for Goretzka and Kehrer.
Thank you, John. John joined by Peter Schmeichel. Kelly Cates presenting from the stadium. Modric has come off. Kovacic, who's been outstanding, has come off. Perisic has also come off. And so the players who have come on: Maya for Kovacic, Orsic for Perisic, and Pasalic has also come on to the field of play. So the triple change being made by Dalic. So Orsic, who scored the winning goal against Chelsea in the Champions League in the Maximir Stadium, hasn't necessarily replicated his club form on the international stage. So he is on, and we have about 3.5 minutes remaining. But Kovacic, outstanding.
Absolutely. I really think that he was so important in that early stage of the game, and they went 1-0 down, and it was a little bit open. The distances were too big. The midfield was a little bit vulnerable, but he's the one in there that's got the legs and the engine and the running power to deal with it.
Ball was played through the middle towards Cavallini. Didn't really have the pace on it to try and find its way through to him in that inside left channel. Canada look very, very tired now. I mean, John Herdman has done an exceptional job. He's taken them from 94th in the world when he took over to they are now ranked 41st. They did ever so well in qualifying. They finished ahead of the United States. They finished ahead of Mexico in qualifying. They've certainly created some iconic moments along the way, but they've fallen short in what has been a tough group.
I mean, you can't underestimate what that nervous tension and energy brings, especially in that first game. I mean, look at the build-up. You've got a coach who's a key motivator, the way he manages that. You've got an inspirational figure in the dressing room from your home country, who's first person that's been on the moon, and I'm sure it got a massive lift out of them, which you saw in their performance, and it's like the replica in that is very difficult, and it's just been a little bit calmer this game, hasn't it? And from such a great start as well, brilliant opening few minutes or 10 minutes from Canada, and it's just slowly just kind of fallen away from them.
Well, they created the chances against Belgium but didn't have the quality. Tonight they've struggled to create clear openings after taking the lead after just 67 seconds. I mean, in the second half they had those two from Osorio, and then the one from that David was tipped over by Livakovic. Can't really recall too much other than that.
But they weren't real clear-cut goal-scoring chances. They were half chances, really, weren't they?
But Croatia have shown their quality, particularly with Kramaric. And leading 3-1 with 60 seconds remaining. How much added on time is always of an interest in this World Cup. Can prove to be somewhat of a lottery predicting, and we're told there'll be 6 minutes from Gary Flintoff, our producer here, who's looked into his crystal ball, because we're yet to see the fourth official who hovers down below. But here is Petkovic, enters the penalty area, shot placed in from the substitute Orsic, but it was a right-footed effort that was comfortably saved by Bojan.
I mean, there's been so many attacks like that in this game, where Croatia have won the ball in and around the middle of the pitch, or even on the edge of their own box, and the way they've broken forwards, the link-up play, the first touch of the centre forward or the player wide of the front three, they've just been so intelligent with the way they've laid the ball off, then popped the ball into space for an ongoing runner, whether that be a full-back or another midfield player. They really have linked up well. It's been really well organised attacking play today from Croatia.
Fourth official ventures forward, and there it is. The bright red digit on the electronic board of 6 is shown to all sides of the Khalifa International Stadium as Canada with Alphonso Davies. Out it goes to the right hand side to Alistair Johnson, puts in the cross, headed away by Lovren. They've had players in all departments who have excelled tonight, Croatia. Gvardiol at the back, Modric and Kovacic in the centre of midfield, and Kramaric up front.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think you can pick those out and say they've been excellent. They're the players that have really driven this game. And the other players in the team, their levels have been good too. So it's been just an overall, from that first opening 10-15 minutes where they're not too good, they've really stepped up, and it's been a very well accomplished performance, shall we say, with some very good experienced players in the team.
Jubilant Croatian supporters away towards our left hand side. They're leading by 3-1. We're in stoppage time. Spain against Germany is coming up, another key game, and Germany will be looking to bounce back after suffering back-to-back defeats in the World Cup for the first time since the end of the 78 World Cup and then the start of 82. So they're going to have to draw on their years of tournament experience against Spain, who looked so impressive against Costa Rica the other night. And on this evidence for Croatia, you would fear for Belgium.
They were back to that kind of Spain of nobody else can touch the ball, weren't they? You know, the way they kept possession and how controlled they were was brilliant to watch.
We have 4 minutes remaining of stoppage time. Alphonso Davies swings over the cross, headed away by Juranovic, fired back in by Hoylett, cleared by Croatia. Hoylett picks up that loose ball, in goes his ball, Gvardiol again. He has been immense. Hoylett again with a dipping effort on the edge of the area, right-footed, drops wide of the left-hand post, and out it goes for a goal kick. Still 3-1 Croatia.
Yeah, a bit of a flurry at the Croatian goal, all from outside the box. Junior Hoylett with the final one, right-footed volley that had just kind of sat up, didn't hit it with any real conviction. But you're right, Deno, it's that man Gvardiol again, wasn't it, with the stooping header just to clear the Croatian box, and he has been immense today.
Half-time in the FA Cup second round. Ipswich Town are leading Buxton by 2-0. The second half will be on Sports Extra. Tomorrow's 4 games, and our coverage starts at 9 in the morning after 5 Live Breakfast with Rick and Rachel. Cameroon-Serbia in Group G from 10. Then it's Group H, South Korea, Ghana at 1 o'clock. The break off as the cross from the left-hand side. Buchanan, Gvardiol once more sweeps it to safety. Brazil, Switzerland at 4. Both sides, of course, won their opening game in Group G. As Croatia are away. Croatia on the counter-attack. And it's unselfishly played out towards the far side. Brilliant play by Orsic, and he just teed up Maya, who had the easiest of tasks to get a 4th goal in stoppage time. Croatia have let their football do the talking, and they have beaten Canada by 4-1.
Well, I'm not too sure what Miller's thinking, whether it's fatigue or tiredness. He comes across, the ball bounces in front of him, he doesn't deal with it. I think he tries to bring it under control as it bounces into him, but really makes a poor error. It goes through his legs, and then it's literally 2 Croatian players bearing down on goal. And like you said, Deno, really unselfish. I mean, the only thing Maya has to do is just make sure he stays on side, doesn't get ahead of the player. He does that well, and then just strokes the ball left-footed into the roof of the net.
He'll have to eat his words. I would imagine that will be the message from Zlatko Dalic and the Croatian players as a cross is caught by Livakovic. Their class is told from Croatia.
Yeah, certainly has. There's no doubt in that. All goals, okay, that one's a mistake, but they've had other opportunities. The scoreline isn't harsh on Canada, really. It's probably just about right of the dominance of Croatia in this game.
Lovro Majer with his 4th goal for himself, scoring the 4th goal for Croatia on the night. They've seen that the 24-year-old Ren midfielder could be a long-term successor to Modric, which is some boots to fill, but they've certainly filled their boots tonight with 4 goals, that is for sure, in stoppage time. Croatia 4, Canada 1. And a rather dispirited Canadian team now just playing out the last couple of minutes here.
I mean, you did ask the question in the build-up of whether or not what he has said there is going to backfire.
Yeah, it was.
We had a couple of good questions actually.
I know what he was trying to do, but inadvertently he poked the bear.
He did,
and they were irked, they were riled, and they've, as I say, they've let their football do in the talk. Another ball's just been given away. Croatia are looking for more goals here, and once again it's Orsic sliding forward as Petkovic just couldn't get on the end of it. Behind it goes for a corner kick.
And they're just hanging on now, Canada. They're sloppy mistakes over the pitch, and that is them done, I think.
The Canadian players drop to their knees, and they're dropping out of the World Cup in Qatar as Croatia go level at the top of Group F, 4 points apiece after a 4-1 win. And a quality performance from Croatia, bearing in mind that Canada, with their first ever goal in a Men's World Cup, had taken the lead after just 67 seconds, a header from Alphonso Davies. But after that, Croatia just were very, very good. 2 goals from Kramaric, Livaja, and then a goal in stoppage time from Maya, and they could have had more.